So today we're going to take a look at the first of the Wild Hunt Frost decks I used this season when they made the change to White Frost, which, as most of you probably know, is when you play a Wild Hunt unit boosted by one if there's Frost in the opposite row. It gives you a fair amount of points throughout the course of the game that makes the ability significantly stronger. Now, I made two versions of this deck. This is going to be the first version of Wild Hunt deck. This one relies more on going tall with taller units, like the classic Ygritte, Goliath, Ozral type of thing. I'll make a second version. That'll come out a couple days. We'll see. But this is the first version I used, and we'll take a look at the differences. I want to see how they perform, because I want to see what version of this deck I liked the most. Now, that being said, let's go into this deck right here. We have, of course, the Oberon King. It is a Wild Hunt deck. He's a Wild Hunt. He evolves. We're playing Devotion, so he's very strong, obviously. And he boosts your Wild Hunt cards. So if you play him early and you get a Frost out, all your Wild Hunt cards are getting boosted by 2. That's pretty significant. Then we have the Ygritte. Ygritte's a big, tall unit. We're also playing Ozral and Goliath, like I mentioned. There's our tall unit package, really. Then we're playing Aridin. Well, we have Dominance. Those cards help us get Dominance. That's the idea for playing the tall package in this deck. With those gold cards is that get extra point damage off your Frost. Aridin plays Frost on his Deploy. If they play Frost with Deploy, it will boost them for the Frost being out. Same thing with Naglfar's Crew. So if you play him with Frost on a row, he'll go to 7. Quite useful. It makes him very hard to remove. Then we have Naglfar. It will look through our deck, take out one of our gold cards, play it. Very powerful. We can search it out with our Gales later on. Ozral we mentioned already. Gaeth gives you Frost for a few turns, 3 turns on each row. I'm not sure. This version of the deck here I put as much Frost in as possible because I want to get a lot of value off of the Frost points from White Frost. I want to see how much value we could get from this effect of having Frost out giving a 1-point boost. So we put in a lot of Frost. It might be too much. We'll find out in these games. We have Goliath, we have Nithral. Now, here's the thing with Nithral. Normally, I would only play him with Carapace because Carapace boosts him to 6, right? Or Carapace boosts him to 8 with Veil, so he can't be locked and he's hard to remove. At 5, he dies the most bronze removal. But if we have Frost out from the leader ability, he'll boost to a 6, much harder to kill. No Veil from having Carapace, but I wanted to test this out and see if at 6 on deploy, he's worth playing. My initial thoughts are no, and he should be cut for something else, but I want to test it. They have Winter Queen. Obviously, Winter Queen is very strong. We have the Thrive. We have it pulls out of the deck when you have Frost in both rows. This could happen fairly early. We have Gills. It searches out either Red Riders or Naglfar or Gaeth, depending on what you want. The Beast. We're playing the Ygritte Goliath Ozral. Wanted to play the Beast, see if he can boost himself up to a fair amount, get some points, some value. He's not necessary. This could be cut for something else. You could change some of the bronzes. Maybe add a different gold card in. There's some options there, but I want to try him out, see if he still gets enough value with only these 3 big, tall cards. Parasite for removal. I like Parasite. Oh, we skipped the Apparent Phantom. It's Wild Hunt, it's Engine, and has Order 3 damage. It's really good. Then we have Red Riders. We're playing 2 Red Riders and Gaeth. That might be overkill. Might want to go for 1 Red Riders and Gaeth, or 2 Red Riders and no Gaeths. We'll find out if we have too much Frost throughout the course of this game. Well, not this game, the coming games. But it got a provision buff down to 5, which is quite nice. Then we have 1 Bruiser. Normally I'd play 2 Bruisers. Bruisers get a fair amount of value off of their ability, right? Because they play, and then if there's Frost in the opposite row, they're worth 6. They move, do 2 damage, so it's a total of 8 points with a move. Very strong. The reason there's only 1 Wild Hunt Bruiser is because I don't think I'm going to need the moves to move too much, because we're playing the White Frost has 2 moves. We are playing 2 Riders for thinning. Now this is what you can do. This I'm not sure on. We're just trying this version out. We can cut the 2 Riders, a 2nd Bruiser, and the one with Purify, whose name I don't remember right now. The Taskmaster. That's an option. It might be a better option, but I wanted to use the thinning because we have only our Naglfar. We have a couple thinnings, right? We have Winter Queen thins out. Naglfar sort of thins out. It takes 1 out and stacks the deck with another one. Gills pulls 1 out. I wasn't sure we had enough thinning, and I want to make sure we get our Ygritte and Ozral, such things. So we put in the Wild Hunt Riders. If we didn't have the Ygritte and Ozral Goliath, maybe had something else, I might consider not having the riders, but I like having the thinning option. We have these, specifically Azrael, that we definitely want to get into later on. Then I mentioned the two Nagelfar's crews, they put out Frost. Now they play for 3 on deploy with giving the opponent Frost. So you deploy it, it gives out Frost to the row, it boosts itself from your leader ability. Then if your turn boost by another point, it goes to 3, they take 2 damage from the Frost. If they were to pass, then you would pass, and you'd have gotten 6 points for its play. It's significantly better than it used to be, right? Because it was pretty slow. And its engine value for having Frost, as Frost gets more value now, that will come into more effect. We have 2 Unalloyed Conquerors, comes out for 7, comes out for 8 if there's Frost, that's very strong. And then we have the 1 Wild Hunt Warrior, just filling it in. Now, in these bronze slots, you can obviously change it up. You can do the new Andrega, whatever it is called. The Kikimor Worker, you can do that. I mean, it's not new, but I got a buff down to 4 provisions. And then we have the 2 Hounds. Now, the reason we're not playing these is because I wanted to go for a more thematic Wild Hunt deck. Obviously, Yugrin, Azrael, and Goliath don't perfectly fit, but I wanted to try them out as they seem to synergize quite well, and they'll also help us here with the Wild Hunt Hounds. We want to make sure we have dominance for the Hounds. If we were not playing the Goliath, Yugrin, and Azrael for the tall package, Conquer helps out, but I was concerned we weren't going to have enough dominance to actually get the Hound off, or the Warrior. Anyway, that's this deck. This will be the first Wild Hunt deck. This will be the tall version with the big units. Let's see how it performs. Getting into our first game then. Going up against Jackpot. Jackpot's still very strong. I think they got, what was a 1 provision nerf, and then Junior lost a point. I think that's what they got hit by. So let's take a look at our hand. We have our Riders, which is nice. Obviously we don't want Winter Queen. 2 Conquerors, it's fine. I'm not sure I want them right now. I want something bigger. Yeah, that's fine. We'll keep the Goliath. I want something bigger because I want to make sure we win this round. I'm concerned he will be able to push hard with like Junior, maybe Professor, and he'll try and take us this round. So try to take this round from us to go up a card, or win on evens eventually to go up a card, or can bleed us very hard. We don't want that, so we're gonna try and make sure we can get some big plays here. Goliath's a little risky because he probably has poisons, so we'll have to be careful when we play him. We could just throw down a Frost here from our crew. Seems like the obvious play, so we play this. This spawns the Frost, gets a boost from the leader ability, and then he'll take some Frost damage. We get another boost. This is a good start for us. Oh, he's done another tax collector. Let's see.
Corporations are people too.
We got a movement here. We can move it to the row, but we only play 1 Bruiser, and it's not in our hand. Probably should play 2nd Bruiser. Let's come up. Now let's go with a Conqueror. Get the boost. It comes down for 8. Again, very nice. We could move here and take out 1 of the collectors, but I kind of value these leader abilities a lot more, or enough that I don't want to just throw 1 out right now. Okay, there's the Casino Bouncer. So he's going to put a bunch of damage cards, and we're actually going to let him have a lot of coins build up from these tax collectors. Obviously not ideal. There's not a ton we can do about it. We can go for the 4 turns. We'll keep our Winter Queen in our deck for later. We don't need to pull her out yet. If we do need to, and it gets desperate, we can use a leader charge, or we can use Aridin. Sewer Raiders. Looks like he's just thinning as much as possible to go into a round 2, where he's gonna just play a bunch of power cards. With that in mind, I think it's time to play Goliath. I think he's going to pass. Goliath should secure us the round. And yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so set one of the Borsadi brothers up as well. It's a lot of setup from him. There's the Flying Redanian. Now, we need to play a card here, and we're going to have to use our Crystal Skull. Also, let's think here. What do we want to play? Aridin is a pretty big commitment. Gels can pull something. We could go Gels into Red Riders. That would give us our Winter Queen. Or we can just pass. I think we'll just pass. We haven't played our Crystal Skull yet, but he's down 10. And then we have a boost on our other guy, on our Nagelfar's crew. We'll just let him thin. Our hand is really good. I don't want to commit any of these cards, right? Oberon, King, and Aridin are very big commitments. Gels, we could go for another Red Riders, but that's slower. Then it gives him the chance to like come back up with a lot of points. Like this, he's gonna have a bunch of coins. He had a bunch of coins built up, so if we risk going further, we could end up losing uneven. We need to use our. No, you need to spend another coin here, brother. That's not enough. It's a tie. You should spend our coin. Okay. Well, this guy didn't quite count correctly, so we'll take that as the first win. I'm not sure how much we can learn from that game, but I'll take the win, that's for sure. Game 2 then. Let's hopefully we can learn a bit more here. Okay, so he's Carapace. So he could be vampires. He could be a different version of Wild Hunt, although I'm pretty sure most people playing Wild Hunt will now play White Frost, just because of the amount of synergies it has. He could also be playing Caltelius with Ciri and, you know, that deck. Anyway, enough talking about what he has. We have a really good hand here. We have Riders, we have Crew, we have Art Gaeth, want to play early. This round's probably good for it. We want to get a lot of Frost value. We have Ygritte, we have Goliath, we have Oswald, we have the whole package there. We have Gills to pull out a Red Riders if we want to. We're going to get Winter Queen out, probably. This looks pretty strong. Let's see what he has. Okay, he's going to open Phantom. I think we just straight Parasite this. It's going to get too much value otherwise. This is probably the best Parasite target we have. Ciri and Caltelius, if he's playing those, they'll be out of reach, because he will boost them, and we'll be able to kill him with a Parasite. This is probably the biggest thing we can kill with Parasite. We don't have too much removal, unless, say, his Caltelius / Ciri get hit by Frost a few times, then we can Parasite them. Still behind a Defender. There's his Ygritte. Quite a bit of armor. Frost will go through it. We'll just play our own. Just mirror him here. Ours also has quite a bit of armor. We'll absorb a lot of Frost damage, although Frost could kill it after enough, or after quite a few turns. I think that's what he's thinking. Now, again, we're just going to mirror him. We're going to go for the Crew. His has a +4 from Crystal Skull. Fair enough. We'll hit him with ours. Now, hopefully we can go Red Riders at some point this round. And Wild Hunt Hound wouldn't be bad either. Okay, he's on Natural Selection. We're going to lose our Ygritte. Oh, he's actually going to kill this. He's going to count on the Frost to kill our Ygritte. That's fine. I think I want a Riders before it dies because I want this thinning. Let's look at the 1-point boost from him having Frost in the opposite row. So the Riders will be worth 5. That's like one will be worth 4. Pretty solid. Fairly similar here from him. I guess he is playing. So his Nithral is going to be pretty. Well, his Nithral will be stronger than ours for sure, and it'll be pretty strong. He might also be playing a little Unseen Elder. They're playing Devotion, and he's playing with Carapace. I expect him to be. We could move one, but I don't really want to. We're going to lose our Ygritte. He's going to lose his Ygritte unless he has to consume as well. Both of us got our Winter Queens out, and it's just snowing everywhere. It's back to winter already. Depending on where you are in the world, it may be winter right now. I don't know. Okay, so that will have Sabbath. And so yeah, that got a 1 provision nerf, so it's a 5 provision card now. Quite a bit weaker than at 4. Deservedly so. We can just drop our Hound. If we need to win the round at any point, we could just play our Osro. His Ygritte's going to die as well, so we're not as far behind as it looks. There he goes. We do not have dominance for our Hound, which is a little bit unfortunate, but we're going to play Goliath coming up, and then we'll get it back. He no longer has Sabbath, which is nice. He'll have it back now, though. The Onel Conqueror coming in. We don't have to play Goliath. We could pass. What's this, 15? He takes 1 more point. We have Thrive. Goliath gives us... We could move. Yeah, let's move. I want to push here because I think he has Caltelius or something, which I... whatever he has for his big plays, I want to win this round. And now we're even. Like I was saying, I want to win this round because I'm suspicious of what he's going to do. I want him to either be forced to play one of his big plays earlier. I don't want to deal with Nithral, for example, Nithral, Unseen Elder, Keltelius. Maybe he's not playing Keltelius. I'm fairly certain. Well, I'm certain he's playing Nithral. He's probably playing Unseen Elder. You want to deal with those early. Not have to worry about them anymore. There's Gels. In this case, the leader ability, I don't value it too highly because I don't think he has anything row-locked except Nithral. There's Nithral now. Like I was saying, this is something I wanted to get out of his deck, so we have to deal with later. We could pass. Let's see what we have. Phantom Beast, Aridin. We have quite a few gold cards left. So there's no way we're guaranteed what we want from a Naglfar. We did get rid of the Nithral. That is one of the things we want to deal with because we don't have an answer. I want to play at least one more card so we get value out of this Frost. We don't have to though. Conqueror comes down melee row for 8 plus a Thrive is 9. That'll give us dominance back. Okay, that was not the row I wanted to click on. Well, it doesn't really matter. We're going to pass next turn anyway. Just know that, in theory, should not have done that. He's going to pull out a Conqueror from his deck. We're going to pass anyway. But yeah, intentionally, you definitely want to play your on-out Conqueror across from the Frost. Like I said I was going to, and then I didn't. Thankfully, it didn't work out this time. When I record these videos, I make a lot of these things where I say what I'm going to do, and then it's not quite what I do because I'm talking and trying to go through what my thought process is while I'm playing it. It makes it more likely for me to make these mistakes than I would in a regular game. Anyway, it doesn't matter in this case. We have one Conqueror, we have our Gaeth back. This hand looks strong. He's going to pass and we'll drop Conqueror. Go to round 3. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I should continue this thought of why I want to get rid of Nithral. I know he has Nithral. It's a 2-point per turn engine with dominance. He can get dominance just as easily as we can. It looks like we're playing very similar tall units. And Nithral gets him that dominance pretty easily. And I don't have a way to remove Nithral outside of, because like I said earlier, Parasites are 6-point removal. And we used it on a Parent Phantom. When we did that, I said because we wouldn't be able to get rid of the Nithral because he just boosted it. So it's a 2-point engine that denies our dominance while giving him dominance. I don't want him having that if possible. Speaking of Parent Phantom, here's ours. Now looking at our hand here, we have 3 turns of Frost on each row from our Gaeth, plus 2 more on each row from Red Riders, plus 2 on a row from 2 more on each row, one from 1 set of 2 from Leader, 1 set of 2 from Aridin. That is 7 turns of Frost on each row. We are not going to get full value out of that. Because we'd have to have... We're losing a turn right now. Next turn he won't have something in each row. So I think overall probably lose 4 damage from Frost here, from having too much Frost. Okay, apparently 6, because he didn't have anything here. We could just open this, Frost that row, we'll get another point. We could have played our Gaeth, but this way we start an engine for an extra point over time. Definitely something we want to do. Kinda wish we didn't have a Red Riders. I don't remember what we mulliganed, honestly. But there's a Striga. That's not super awesome. We could just go for the Red Riders or the Gaeth now. Doesn't really matter which one. We could also go Gels. Naglfar. Armor Conqueror here. We're setting up this. There's our dude. Now the reason we're doing this is we got an extra point on every Wild Hunt card we play. Unfortunately, we only have 1 more. We do lose 2 points of Frost here. We probably should have done a move on the Striga. There. We move her and then she's in a Frost row. The Frost continues. Getting us to 2 points. Might have been better. Probably would have been... probably would have been better. But the thing is, I don't want to use my move because I'm concerned he has a defender in Keltelius. Or just Keltelius because it's melee locked. And I don't want to use my move to deal with that. I don't want to use my move early then not have an answer to deal with something that's pro-locked. So we lost 2 points essentially to play our Conqueror earlier. We got our Gaeth for that. We could have played the... Our best play there was playing either our Gaeth and Red Riders. But we're in a little bit of a rush. Didn't quite think that through all the way. Warm-up game. Call us the warm-up game. It's not quite a warm-up game. Yeah, well, it's not a warm-up game, but that was just what we can say sometimes. Now, ultimately, it may not matter, because I'm not sure what he has that's going to give him a lot of value. Unfortunately, I'm not sure... I don't think our dominance is going to last. I'm sure he has an Azrael somewhere. There's his own Conqueror. Pretty expected. A rider. Oh, does he have 2 riders in his deck? Is this his finisher? That's a lot of points. Oh, he doesn't. Alright, I'm confused now. Why would you pick this? You don't have... You had... Should have had dominant. We should have been tied at 6 for dominance. We'll just move that. We need some damage on his row. Aridin doesn't have dominance. But, well, what are you going to do? We'll go Azrael next. Then we'll get our dominance back. It gives a couple more points each turn. This Red Riders is literally worthless. Which is what I was concerned about both when I was making this deck, because we had too much frost. And there's Aridin. We're going to take an extra point on our Aridin. Let's see. His Azrael's big. We both have Azrael, I'm assuming. Although maybe he doesn't have Azrael in his hand. If he has Azrael, he'll play it now. This will want the dominance from his Aridin for the extra point. Okay, so I don't think he does. I don't think he has Azrael. That's good. We just have to discard this Red Riders. So I don't think he has Azrael. If he doesn't have Azrael, I think we're fine. I don't think he has another big finisher card. Yeah, it's Wild Hunt Riders. He didn't have it. GG. We lost, I think, 2 points in that round. But ultimately it didn't matter. Still, I think if we went back and played everything perfectly, we could have had 2 more points in there. Alright, let's do one more game. Get a third game in here. First game, our opponent made a mistake. Second game, we didn't play quite optimally in round 3. Lost about 2 points, I think. In this game, we'll try and do everything as optimally as possible, and hopefully our opponent does too. They are playing Relict Kashi, is what I'm going to guess here. And I'm almost 100% certain that's what this is. If we know that, we have to force it out round 2. We have to force out the Kashi Caranther combo round 2, or else we're going to lose. So, for that purpose, we're going to play a long round 1 here until we win. So we're going to start with our engine here. We could have played Nithral and given Nithral this, but like he did here, they usually open with Andrega Larvas and have a lot of armor. So it probably was a better idea. Nah, I think I like this better, because I want Nithral for round 2. Round 2 we have to force out the Caranther Kashi, and I want Nithral for that. It'll be worth more to me there than it will be here. Theoretically, play it while he has Frost out, and then he'll go to 6. He'll either have to Parasite it or deal with it, and I want that to be in round 2, because we don't really have much removal in the deck at all. Okay, we'll get rid of this Larva. So yeah, the reason we didn't play the Nithral is because we're saving that for round 2. We want to have this round win. I don't think I need Nithral for that. Then we want to push round 2 and force those cards out. Nithral is our best damage engine, and Nithral, Aparian Phantom, Nithral plus Frost are our best ways to kill off stuff, like his Kashi, and yeah, mostly the Kashi. So I want to save him for that. Otherwise, obviously, playing Nithral with the Crystal Skull is very strong. Normally you'd want to do something like that, but in this case, there's a reason we didn't do it. Now, the Beast here is going to get a lot of value. The Beast I don't mind dropping here. He gives us a lot of points too, but in round 2 where he's playing Caranther Kashi, okay, there's a lock, fair enough. For his Caranther Kashi round, I don't think there'll be very many cards too tall For example, like here he's at 14, right? We're going to get potentially up to 14 here. And after not playing Nithral here, he went for 1 crone, then a second. I'm concerned he has a third in his hand, so I want to make sure getting at least some value, stronger engine-wise going. Alright, there's that. I think we're just going to just Parasite that, or we could just go for 8 here. The Parasite, again, we don't have removal outside of Parasite, so the Kashis I kind of need to save Parasite for. Otherwise, you could just Parasite this annoying Witch on a Pig. Yeah, like I said earlier, I was concerned he had the third crone, so we played our Beast. Let's see, he's pushing fairly hard here. I think we're going to have to use a leader charge here if we want to stay in this. We can move this. That should put him down to 26, 2 damage. He shouldn't have Sabbath anymore. 6, 6, 18, 24. Okay, now he's going to boost it up. Like I said, we really want to win this round no matter what. We have Nithral. I wanted to save him for round 2 like we mentioned earlier, but winning this round is more important. The argument to be made is that if we played him earlier, we would have had a easier time winning the round. I still think it would have come out to about the same here. I really did want to save him. So the options are a Parasite, which isn't great because it doesn't do too much. It's 2 points off Nithral. We'll go for the Aridin. Frost against Kashi isn't fantastic because it has armor. The Cranther one the Cranther makes has armor. It has armor. The larvas, if they get boosted, have armor. It's just like too much armor. The Frost becomes less valuable. So I'm happy using the Frost value here with Aridin rather than being concerned I'm not going to have it later, per se. Still, Aridin's a big card. My other hope is that since we played Aridin, he knows it's a big card. Okay, there's a She Who Knows. This is the other thing we had to save Parasite for, in case he was playing it. We cannot let him have a 10 Resilience card, so we're going to hit that. We're going to hit it with Nithral. Yeah. This was the other card I was concerned about that I didn't mention when I mentioned not playing Parasite right away because it's our only removal. If we don't have Parasite in our hand, that's a 10-point carryover, and that might just win him the game. Now here he has 2 points of carryover. He has it, so we have to play a card. If we can get Wild Hunt Riders, that would be ideal. This hand's not super good. It's actually pretty awful. Well, there's a Riders that helps. If he pushes hard, we can always play our Azrael and consume the She Who Knows after it dies, because we are going to kill it with Frost here. Normally I would open with the Riders, but knowing that we have to play here, and that he will most likely be playing off of his She Who Knows to try and get a card advantage here, I want to kill it in case we need the Azrael. Alright, so there's the Cranther. We're in the Cranther Kashi out of the way. Perfect. We were going to push this round, hopefully anyway. By the way, when I mentioned we're going to kill a She Who Knows for the Riders, we wanted to push anyway, like I said earlier. We still can play the Riders. 1 for 5, 1 for 4, get a point boost. We could have moved one there, one of his guys, but I don't want to because I want to move the second Kashi into the range with all the other ones, so hopefully he caps out on spawning the Andraga larvas. Gaeth is kind of useless here, but I just want the... there it is, I want the other Kashi. If we can get leader from him here, that'd be amazing. We didn't, and I think we'll just pass. Yeah, we'll just pass. This is fine. The other thing here that we can do is, like I mentioned with She Who Knows, he has a Gan-Can in his graveyard, right? Gan-Can and She Who Knows. These decks almost always play at least one Ghoul, right? The Ghoul, because the Gan-Can boosts itself up. It's a bronze, Ghoul comes very good. If we Azrael his Gan-Can, his next best target for a Ghoul is a 4-point card, and Ghoul comes down for 5. We lose a point on our Azrael because I don't think he'll be able to kill our Ygritte or Goliath. So I think the best target for Azrael would be She Who Knows for 11-point play. We lose a point by doing Gan-Can, but we take away his Ghoul on it, which denies him an extra 5 points. So it's overall 4 points better, I think. We'll open Gaeth here. Want to get that going. We could have gone for the Phantom, but we have Frost from our leader as well. So one of these rows is going to get 5 turns of Frost. One will get 2. And I want to get the Frost value before the Kashi's armor really comes into effect. I don't want to get that going earlier so we don't get it denied off armor. Considering when we want to consume this Gankan here. I want to play Phantom first to get the engine going. Oh, Ratcatchers is not good for him because every time it gets hit by Frost it loses an extra point. Gives us a little bit more value. Woodland Spirit, sure. If he's Spirited, we'll move her to the range throw. She's definitely the one we want getting hit by all these Frosts. Drop our Phantom. And I think next turn we'll drop the Azrael. We'll go Azrael. You green with 1 armor. I don't think he has 1 damage. He's played the damage Crone already. I don't think he plays Nithral. I think he just has... yeah, I think we're fine. Oh, he's going to Heat Wave that. Interesting. He might regret that. So we'll come down here and consume the Gankan. I'm 90% certain he has a Ghoul in his hand that we just ruined. Let's see. When I said the Kashi armor, I meant Cave Troll, by the way, or something like that with armor. Because he already played both his Kashis.
Blueberries.
Sometimes they have, well, a lot of times they'll have Cave Troll to protect their She Who Knows. 1 armor on our Ygritte, can't wait another turn. I'm fairly confident it's perfectly safe here. Necromancy, okay, so he's going to Necromancy the Gankan instead of, what's it called? Ghouling it. We still denied a bunch of points there. 5-point denial there. Or 4-point denial off of our Azrael. We're up by 11. If we had not, I think if he has Azrael, he wins. Yeah, if he has Azrael, he wins. Does not have Azrael, he does not win. I think it's a Ghoul. Well, Ghoul wouldn't make sense if he also had Necromancy. I'm not sure what it was. But we got an extra 4 points over that Necromancy. And I think that won us the game there. So that's good. GG. So then after playing some games of this deck, I'd say about 10-ish, we played some more after those videos. I usually record these parts where I say the changes, not directly after recording the games for the videos, so it has some more experience on what we're talking about. But I will say, I was correct. Nithral definitely does not seem worth it without the Carapace. So, cutting Nithral. I expected that, but I wanted to try him out. And I'm not sure. I think that the riders for the Bruiser and the Taskmaster is the superior choice for the 5s. I think this is the correct choice. As far as the rest of the deck, obviously here we have an option which I like, which is taking out this warrior and going to 6 and putting in 2 Foglets. Now the reason I didn't have Foglet in the deck originally is because we were short on provisions. Right, mostly, well the only reason we were really short on provisions is because I wanted to try out Nithral, but Foglet I'm pretty sure is definitely better. It gets tall from getting our Frosts out, helps with dominance, it has Veil so it can't be locked so you can put more Frosts out and boost it. It gets pretty tall, especially if you have Ard Gaeth out, so that's definitely something I want to include, Foglet. The only reason we didn't earlier is because we're trying out Nithral instead. So, we knew Foglet would be good. He's definitely in the other version of the deck we play. Not this tall version, the other deck that's going to come out pretty soon. And then the other thing is, we take a look here. We have 4 turns of Frost here, 6 and then 6. So, say that's, well obviously, we can just add those together. That's 12 turns of Frost here. I'm counting the turns on different rows separately. So then we have, yeah, so like I said, 6, 6, 12, plus 4, 16. And then we have from Eridan 2 more, that's 18. Then we have Red Riders, plus another 8, that's 26. And then the crew each gives us 2, that's 30. We have 30 turns of Frost across 2 rows. It's 15 turns of Frost on both rows. I think that's excessive. I don't think we need Ard Gaeth or we don't need a Red Riders. So this is up to you. Personally, I would like to cut down on the Ard Gaeth, perhaps, just because 3 for both turns is quite a bit. The Echo's nice, but I think we have too much Frost. So it's up to you. Cut Red Riders, cut Ard Gaeth. I want to swap out Ard Gaeth specifically for the ability to then add in a certain card, which is Emerleith's Wrath. The reason why is because 1, it's a wild hunt, so we can actually search it. 2, this deck does play several tall cards, Yuggoran, Goliath, and an Nithral. And thirdly, we don't have any removal outside of Parasite, and that could be a problem. So I think that putting in Emerleith's Wrath is good. So I think this is the deck we're going to go forward with for using this version with the tall cards. I think this will be better than what we had before. And yeah, I might actually make a video about this too, because it's fairly significant changes to the deck. I played, I'm not sure how many games before recording, and then we recorded a few games, and then played a few more games afterward. So maybe total like 15 games with this deck, which is a decent amount, but it's not as many as I'd like to play before making a final conclusion. So we're going to try this out. We'll try out the other version, which does not have these tall cards, the Yuggoran, Goliath, Nithral, such things. So that's it for this video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and feel free to try out your own versions of this deck. I'm quite intrigued by the change to White Frost. I think it was deserved, and I quite like it, because hopefully this ability is good.